You are listening to The Ben Keech Show, where every day the objective is simple. Ben will never stop fighting the fight and lighting the light on topics that affect you every day.
Welcome, everyone, to another rendition of this podcast episode talking about... Tonight we're going to talk about men, women, masculine, feminine... Feminine? Did I say... Take another drink, sorry. We're talking about relationships, and I'm going to pose with my fine friends here. You guys have seen them before. This is like take 3 because they're just very fun people. We have Steven, we have Jennifer, we have Trenda, myself. We're going to get right after it. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to say a line, and I kind of want to start with Trenda on this one, but we'll see. Okay, you ready? Looking at my phone here. Okay. My name's Ben. I'm just ready to go. Here we go. All right. Sometimes there's just skip the foreplay. Okay.
I was wondering if you were going to say the show's name.
Yeah, Ben. Yeah, it's that.
There you go, that guy.
That's my name. It's
Dick.
Weird saying your name.
That's what text on screen for.
All right. Exactly. All right. In a society of emasculated men, women adopt the masculine the men have abandoned. Then the men adopt the abandoned feminine. Agree or disagree with that statement?
I'm glad that one's yours.
Wow, yeah. Can you
I'm going to say it again. I know. It's what we were talking
A lot
about
going on there.
in this episode. I know. This is like justifying everything you said.
I better get an easy one.
In a society of emasculated men, women adopt the masculine that the men have abandoned. Then the men adopt the abandoned feminine. What do you think about that?
Wow, yeah, mind blown. I don't know. That's interesting.
So how does a man adopt? Go into his
breaking
feminine?
it down. So breaking it down.
Yes.
In a society of emasculated men, which means over the top masculine men, right? Too much so.
No,
I disagree.
And in a society of emasculated men is men who don't want to lead, don't want to take charge, don't want to be like they want to be taken. They don't want to be alpha. They want to be taken.
Then the women pick it up. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you got to do. That.
100%. Agree.
So, but there's a feminine that you're leaving behind.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking care of him.
Yeah.
So the reverse happens because
I agree.
Yeah. I love this quote because it is literally the problem.
So as an example, what would you say would be the example? Like a concrete, tangible example.
Okay. So the example would be so she is always the one that sees what needs to be taken care of or what needs to be done around the house. So like we have this problem going on, we need to the grass is too long or not just the trash, but he is oblivious. So he might be making money, he might be doing something, but he's oblivious to what's going on with the kids.
He's oblivious to your needs.
Mm-hmm. To your need, and so you're saying to yourself so there's a stressor.
Oblivious to your needs.
What would be a stressor for you in your marriage? Like not connected to your marriage, but your house.
Could be like anything, like even trivial.
Yeah,
like for me,
a sock on the floor.
Well, I'm just thinking of the driving example. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm driving all of these dates around, so I guess I should stop being the one to offer and start. These are emasculated men.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm being the masculine driver.
Yes.
Yes.
To a certain extent, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm allowing that to happen. Yes. Which then his feminine takes over because he needs me to nurture him and provide for him a ride.
Yeah.
And if he likes that, he is 100% a masculine. He is taking your feminine from you.
Yeah.
And living in it.
Yeah. Good example. That's a concrete example I need to learn from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So interesting.
Good job, Ben.
Will you send that to me?
Good job, Ben. That was a good one.
Yeah, will you send that to me?
Sheesh, I had like a chill all of a sudden. Okay, here's another one for you. We're gonna let's try to get Well, I'm not even going to say because I'll fail. Okay, men. The moment you take her feelings personally is the moment you lose. You lose your center and her trust. I'm going to say this is so good. I'm going to say it again. Men. The moment you take her feelings personally, get defensive. Get, whatever, because she's expressing her feelings. That's what women do. Is the moment you lose. You lose your center, your strength as a man, and she doesn't trust you because you're not stable enough to like her feelings that she wants her feelings to bounce off something solid, and that is like, gotcha, yeah, and like listen, and like the stoic part of a man is super important when it comes to her expressing her feelings. You're getting all emotional. You're getting all defensive. You're getting all insecure. She can't trust you.
You lost me.
But that's a two-way street, though, because men need to open up and be able to vent just the same as women do. So women need to
Not
be
the
that
same.
solid.
I disagree.
Not the same.
I disagree.
Not the same. It's good.
Men,
I've struggled with what you're
men
saying.
tend to hold it in. They tend to not get out what's bugging them. They hold it in, and then it eats at them. They don't express themselves.
I don't believe that.
At least the men that
No.
I've known.
I have
have a hard
struggled
time
with
expressing
exact. I
themselves.
have.
But they need to. You have to get it out.
I think that the way though that a man expresses himself is going to be different than the way we do. So we can't go into it with the expectation that they're going to use the same language. They're going to have the same vernacular. They're going to do it in a way that I think is much more subtle. Men don't typically use the word, I find, and forgive me, I don't mean to speak for the two of you, the words I feel. They use the words
Well,
I
I've never
think.
said that.
They use the words I think. And so I've learned to when I hear I think, I'm like, oh shit, he's telling me how he feels. And I'm not going to make too big of a deal of it. I'm just going to listen. They use I think versus I feel. We use I feel versus I think. So I think it's different. And you have to learn
But
their
I think
language.
men need to also express how they feel and not just what they think. It's more than just the brain and the logic.
They are
It
telling
is
you
an
what they feel. They're
expression
just
from
using
the
the words
heart.
I think versus I feel. But they are telling
But
you
they're telling
how
you
they
just in a
feel.
different way.
Just in a different way.
As long as they get it out, a lot of times they tend to hold it in. More so women are the ones who are over communicators, over expressing how we feel all the
I
time.
don't want to.
So,
I don't
but
want to say
men,
the
I
word
feel,
over though.
are they need to express themselves more
But
and
even
be
out-
heard more.
Even outside of that, I still think that the quote rings true. Because if now I've expressed to you how I feel and I made myself vulnerable and you like couldn't be strong and just listen, you kind of get defensive. You like start to make excuses or like
You
kind
get
of
into your own
dismiss
feels. Yeah.
dismiss my feelings.
Right.
You fucking lost me.
What would be an example, Jenda, where a man could express how he feels in the way that you're talking about? That would be good. Like, what would be?
Yeah, in my opinion, communication is key. I mean, women are not perfect and we will do things to trigger our partner. Unknowingly. We may hurt you and we don't even know it. So if you hold that in and keep taking that when we don't even know that we're hurting you.
Okay, now I'm tracking. with
Now, all of a sudden, you're taking it, you're not expressing yourself, you're holding it in, it's not getting us anywhere. Conflict resolution, you're not at peace with something I'm doing, but yet you're not expressing yourself. I'm just supposed to have ESP and know that what I'm doing is harmful to you, it's a trigger to you because something in your childhood was wrong with your parents or something happened. And you don't want to be vulnerable and use me as the safe space, your partner, to be vulnerable and express that, hey, when you do this, it brings me back to those memories. Can we talk through this? Can you be my safe space now so that I can be a man and be in my feminine and be expressing my feelings to you, my true heart? So security and safety is a two-way street.
It is.
Men have to be able to express their feminine to a woman who is the partner who is there to be your support and your rock in the relationship.
Okay, I'm going to say it differently.
Just my feelings.
I know this is good. We're
Just my
gonna
opinion.
work our way through this.
Okay.
Just like so. I'll give you an example I was thinking. So if I think that let's say that you were, so a woman could sometimes be demeaning or cutting with her words without realizing it. So she's showing disrespect to a man by, let's say it's like, you really never do that, right? Or like, just say it's a cutting comment, but she's like, maybe there's truth to it. She's laughing about it, it's sarcastic. But to him, it's like, boom, because that's disrespectful.
That's just not good in
general. But it happens all the
Anyway.
time. In women relationships, men can be women can be disrespectful to their man, and a man can not show love in the way that he needs to show love. I think love and respect are two different things. Men need respect, women need love. They both need both, but I need respect before I need love, and you need love before you need respect. I know, just pretend that that's true for a second. Well, I don't want to argue that one yet. Just pretend. Okay. I'm not going to tell you how I feel when you disrespect me. I'm going to reprimand you, and I'm going to just pretend that I'm not offensive yet. I'm going to tell you that you're not going to talk to me that way. Like, in our relationship, I love you, I care about you, but that's disrespectful. And like, I'm not going to sit there and like be like, I feel less of a man when you talk. I'm not going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to literally call your ass out and say like, no, this isn't how this relates. And by the way, I'm going to tell you this before you ever do it. I'm going to tell you like what respect means to me is how you look at me, how you communicate with me, and look, maybe I don't deserve that respect, so we need to go our separate ways. Like, I'm not saying I deserve this, but I'm saying in a healthy relationship, the way you look at me, the way that you respect me is what I deserve. And when you're disrespectful, I'm gonna say like, it's not flying here. I'm gonna call you out, and you're gonna be like, shit, I was wrong. You're right, because the way you look at me, you can take that from me. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be controlling, but I am telling you. So I look at it as but when I'm not showing you love, when I'm falling short in the way that I love you, hey, when you do that, I feel this way. That triggers me to love you better. Me calling a woman out in a loving way, in a respectful way, oh shit, that was super disrespectful of you as a man. You're right, that was wrong. There's a different dynamic in a healthy way, I think.
That's what I mean when I say a man uses the words I think versus I feel. They're not going to use the words I feel, like, a real man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say a real man, but like, you know, who has bigger balls than me? Well, like, just to your point, use the words I think, or hey, that wasn't cool, or like, hey, that was disrespectful. That in their way is telling you how they feel.
Yes.
But they're not going to say, oh, that hurt my feelings. Like, that's just not.
See, I think the problem, Drinda, is that men don't know how to, like, reprimand. Give me a better word. I know there's better words, but men don't know how to put their women in place where they don't feel shamed, but they feel called out. Women want to be called out. Women know they're not perfect. Women actually know they're not perfect more than sometimes men do. Women don't walk around thinking that they're perfect and that unless they're just like totally dysfunctional women, which none of us men want that. But but it has to come from a place that they can receive it. But a lot of men don't even do that. They're in this worship mode of women. They're in their feminine. A feminine man can't do that. So they take it, like what you're saying, like they take it, they bottle up, they're in their feminine. They're not willing. It's not about them expressing their emotions. It's about them standing up for themselves in a healthy way, but still a loving way for the woman that he loves, I think. I don't know. Okay, we're not getting into that. Was good. There's like, oh my gosh. This is like such a fun game for me. It's like the most fun thing I've done this week. Okay, to this quote, feminized men love to think of women as a goddess. Worshipping a woman is easier than leading one.
AKA my balls are bigger than his.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but yeah, I mean, I believe you. Feminized men. So again, think about like men. Think about the woman worship.
Yeah.
Feminized men love to think of women as goddesses. Worshipping a woman is easier than leading one.
I agree with that quote for feminized men, yes. And that, at least to me, is not appealing. That's not attractive.
But we as men, if I'm like thinking
I actually think that's pathetic.
You think what's pathetic?
For like I don't want a man that worships me like a goddess. I want a man to lead.
Yeah.
I don't want like I don't
Because
want
it feels fake.
It does. It feels
false.
fake. It feels fake. It feels forced. It feels false. It feels like, really? Like, is this what we're doing? Like, I don't. That's not appealing to me. It does to me. It feels fake, and it feels pathetic. I really want to be like Rose and Balls.
And it's not sustainable.
No.
Because at some point in time,
right.
worship is going to be pointing to somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's just a lust.
That's actually a super good point.
Yeah. It's a I want this for now, instant gratification. I mean,
such a red flag.
is such a red flag.
Yeah.
It won't last. It's not sustainable.
And you can see a needy female can take that in because it feels like this could be it, but it's
no,
that's a
good point. I like that.
It's not sustainable.
A masculine man suffers when he has no one to take care of, but a feminine woman suffers much more when she has no one to take care of her. A masculine man suffers when he has no one to take care of, but a feminine woman suffers much more when she has no one to take care of her. What does that mean? Why does she suffer much more?
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with that. I don't know that we would suffer more.
I do.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
I can only relate to the first part. I would agree with that.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. Right. I can't relate to the other side.
And if you're a man and you don't relate to the first one, then you're
a
you have some
bitch.
work to, right?
You're a bitch.
Yeah.
I got a new ornament from Hallmark. It's Ghostbusters. I love the 80s. And
but never listen to Huey Lewis.
Listen, sir, I've seen the Ghostbusters 1,000 times. I don't know who you think Huey person is. So it came with little batteries, Stay Puft. He's climbing the thing, and they're like, what do they say? Burn them or get them or anyway. So it came with little batteries, and it had a little screw to take off the battery thing. And I don't own a screwdriver.
Okay.
I also don't own a hammer.
Okay.
There's a lot of things I don't own.
That's all right. That's all right.
And I think it took me an hour. And
what'd you end up using?
I was in tears. I could not open the stupid fucking thing.
What'd you end up using, though?
A razor blade.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. And it took me about 40 minutes. And I literally had like tears running down my face. Because I couldn't do it. And I'm a very, you know me, I'm a very solution-oriented. And I've, similar to you, I've been single a long time. I'm very independent. I am I got this. But in that moment, and this is just a specific moment because it was yesterday, that
it's fresh on the mind.
It is. Well, and that's the first thing when you said that was the first thing I thought of, and it's like, the gentleman that I was speaking about before, I was like, oh, he is very much of I could see him suffering, not having a woman to take care of, but even more so for me, because I am so strong all the time, it gets old.
Yeah.
It does. It gets old. I have a really dear friend in the Bay that I love more than life itself. I was talking to him one time about a guy I was dating, and he was like, and I was talking to him about a couple different situations. And he was like, it seems like you're always filling his cup and you're filling a lot of other cups. And he was like, but who fills your cup, Jen?
Right.
And I was like, well, me. And he was like, that sounds really lonely.
Yeah.
And that sounds really hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck me, bro. Where's the bourbon? I'm kidding. I didn't grab bourbon. So, yeah, I do. I think that, especially I can only speak for me. I'm crying over a fucking Christmas ornament for an hour. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And it just suffers much more when she has no one to take care of her, which then screams of dependency. So a dependency, that's what throws it off, because we want women to be independent and strong and do all the things.
I think it's about balance though too. Like
I used to tell kids when I would teach, I told the high school seniors, senior girls, smart, all the things. I'm like, hey, here's what's going to happen to you. So you're told you're going to go to college, you're going to get your degrees, you're going to get these jobs, you're going to make your money, you're going to do all of these things. But here's what's going to happen to you that you're not told about. Is that you're going to fall in love with an amazing man, and then you're going to have kids. And then you're going to have these kids, and all of your life has been focused on the fact that you're a woman, that you can do these certain things. But there's going to be a different pull that nobody tells you about. You're going to have you have a kid or whatever. What do I do with that? Like, we don't have that. So we have these kids. I mean, we love the kids the same. It's not about loving different, but it's like we get pulled in different ways. So I'm just saying, like, I don't know how. I would tell every single senior class the same thing, all the girls. I don't know how you're going to get pulled. I don't know your personalities. I don't know, like, your stories. I don't know anything about this. But I'm just saying, you heard it at least one time in your life that you may get pulled to your child as being a bigger part of your, like, life journey, what happens in your career. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your career, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your path. I'm just saying that, like, in the 50s, they would have said it's mom or bust. And now we want to say it's like your career or bust. I'm just saying it's still confusing. We don't know what's going to happen with it. And so just prepare yourself that I don't know how everyone's going to respond, but you may not all respond the same way, and just understand that it's, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just think that I think that a man taking care of a woman, and a woman allowing herself to be taken care of by a man in a healthy dynamic, there's not a more beautiful thing. Kids are not kids, job or not job, who does the laundry or not, I don't care. But that is what I want. That's what what's what we want.
that's what I want.
Yes, we all do. But it's, I mean, there's mixed messages out there. I think there's mixed messages. And, like, are you as much of a woman if you, like, want a man to drive you on a date?
I don't give a shit what anyone else thinks. I know what I think and I know what I want.
Right.
And am I able to communicate that to the person I'm seeing, or does he just take the lead and just do it? Yes, please.
But do the 18-year-old girls that are, like, do they feel okay? Are they less of a, like, they may feel that they're less of a woman.
I have a 19-year-old niece. Talked to her for about an hour today. She does not feel less of a woman when the guy she's been dating for the last 3 weeks just broke up with said guy. We did not like him. Every time they went out, he drove and picked her up.
Yeah.
As he fucking should.
Right.
And she loved it.
Right.
Yeah, we talk all the time.
Good. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. I know we're running out of time. Let's do one more. Ooh, I really like this one. There's so many choices.
I wouldn't say we're suffering, though, without a man. I mean, I just don't think, I'm in my feminine and my masculine both, because I'm independent and I have to take care of me. And at the end of the day, I don't feel I'm suffering because I don't have that partner in my life, because I'm not dependent on somebody else for my happiness. I am.
But I think it's relative to how the man suffers. I don't think it's saying that you're suffering. I think it's relative to how the man suffers. It's not saying you're suffering.
I think he's saying that we suffer more. And I don't know that we even suffer at all. At least me. I mean, I know that at the end of the day, my happiness has to be fulfilled in me. So
I agree with
if
you.
I don't find
I agree
that
with that.
partner,
I agree with
am
you.
I suffering? I don't want to be. Because I want to be happy just being by myself, if that's what I end up being for the rest of my life.
I understand that, but I think that there's a dimension of Drinda that if that does get discovered in that way, where you can allow someone to do that and he deserves to, like, all the stars align, that there's a game changer in that maybe none of us have totally experienced, and, like, the fullness of a length of time of having that, like,
I think teamwork makes the dream work. So yes, you're right. If the right partner is found,
I don't
and
want
the two
teamwork
can
though.
work together as a team, the sky's the limit, and it's a game changer for Brenda, absolutely, because now I've doubled my resources, right?
I agree with
We're
that.
working together as a team, and we can do bigger things with two people on the same page with the same goals.
But I will say that for me, I would say that there's a, when you take the word independence and dependence and finding the perfect balance between I'm not looking for 50-50. I'm looking for someone to depend on me. And I'm looking for, and it doesn't mean I'm depending on them too, but for different things. It's different. It's not the same dependent. I don't need her to take care of me. I don't need her to provide for me. I don't need her to be, I am strong for myself in the ways that I need to, but there's things I need. I need her support. I need her devotion. I need her, the feminine side of her to be a peaceful place, a restful place to land. I need her to need me in certain ways where, in a relationship,
Oh yeah,
she may need me.
have that. You hope for that, absolutely.
But all words, it's not like an addition problem where all things can be reversed and it's all the same. I think there's differences. Here's our last one. This goes good to this one. Men's wounds use women. Women's wounds let them. Men's wounds use women. Women's wounds let them. What do you think about that one?
You don't have enough time for this fucking podcast.
It's kind of like
Yes.
yes, I
Yes.
know it's
That's
Yes.
the thing. It's back and forth. It's the same. It's not one or the other. It's both. Always. It's not one over the other.
I disagree. I think
It's both. You
it's-
can flip it and it's the exact
Okay, let's
same
do it.
thing.
All right,
Flip
let's
it. Flip
play
it.
that game.
I don't think it means the same.
Sometimes you gotta flip.
The actions are the same, but I think the meaning is different.
Unhealthy people are unhealthy people. It doesn't matter if they're male or female.
But that's the action. That's true. But I think the meaning is different. The why is different. And I think this quote speaks to the why, not the what. The what is the same, but the why is different. Do you see what I'm saying?
Flip it and see.
So what would
Say
be
it both ways.
a male wound that would use women? So what would it be an example of?
I don't know. I think that's where I look to the two of you. What would be a male wound?
That's what I'm saying. Wounds are wounds.
But I
are
think-
wounds
Oh,
masculine or
but-
feminine? We all
don't have
have
any.
masculine and
But
feminine.
hold on.
in
Say the
us.
quote again. Say the quote again.
Men's wounds. Let's just say an example of that.
But say the quote in its entirety, and then we can dissect it.
So I'll say a wound, a male wound.
You're not listening to me.
I know. It's my wound. No, I just don't listen anymore. Okay, I'll say the quote entirely, then I'll say my wound. Men's wounds use women. Use women. Women's wounds let them. Okay, so a male wound is I'm not enough, not good enough. I'm not enough. Not, I don't make enough. I'm not man enough. I don't provide enough. I'm just mess up enough. Like I don't measure up. Okay, so that's my wound. So how does that use women?
But can I just ask a question? Why is that a male wound? That's a wound for everybody. It's an insecurity wound.
But does my wound use a woman? So I find a female.
Yes, and women
That-
are insecure and they use men just the same.
I
There's
agree
no
with
masculine or feminine in wounds, because
Okay, let's get there. You're ahead of me. So so if my wound is that I don't measure up, then I'm not enough. So what type of woman do I find? I find someone that's going to feed falsely or anywhere else that's going to tell me that I'm enough or
to feed your ego.
Okay, so but it's not, but my wound isn't solved. She can't fix that. she's basically providing me something. She's providing me a fix. Okay. So that's all she's doing. She's providing me a fix to make myself feel good for my own shit that I have going on.
How does she do that?
So then her wound is that she is like telling me I think I look at this as potentially, you can see the sexual side of this for sure. You can see like the over catering to him in terms of like her words and her actions give him what he doesn't have, which we've all said already in these podcasts. It's not enough. Like, I need to know, for me as a person, that I am enough, or that I am like over this like neediness side of me, like that I'm like, you're not enough, like, I mean, so I'm using her for a false sense of confidence.
But the root cause or the root issue is you have a trauma inside you that says you're not good enough.
Correct.
So that's what needs to be addressed.
Correct.
So basically, at the end of the day, though, women have that too. In general, say it's a job. Say a man can't find a job. He's feeling down on his luck. Mm-hmm. He wants to be the provider. He's sending out resumes. Can't find a job and can't bring money to the table. You know, the wife is sitting there being, okay, patient.
Right.
Waiting, allowing. So I guess with that example, what are you saying she would give into her traumas, I guess, using that example?
The woman's wound is that she becomes a false provider of either confidence or ultimately a doormat. He is using her to satisfy something that he doesn't even think about himself. So it's fake, it's false, because he doesn't even believe it about himself. So if I don't have a job for X amount of months and I don't feel like I'm like, look, I'm still taking care of shit. I'm still figuring things out. I'm still in a take charge mode, even though I'm like down on my luck and things are going wrong. And so me bringing my wounds into this is all of my insecurities, all of the things that I'm not good enough. And I bring that upon you, but you're feeling like that's a way for you to meet me, to satisfy your own, like we're both, our neediness are almost meeting each other in a way that becomes unhealthy, because I'm needing you in a way that I should be strong in, but I'm not. That's my wound, is exactly what you said.
Yeah, I think you guys are saying the same thing, just different.
Yes. Yeah.
You're saying the same thing.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I was just using that one as a concrete example. Concrete examples are good to visualize.
No, that's good.
Anchor too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like a female's wound is going to be like, am I lovable? Am I enough? It's more directed to what he views me, versus like my wounds may be coming in on how I measure up as a man. So like boys at recess playing, he kicks the ball further. Like we're already like in this like, you know, pissing match as men on who's the most manly, who's the most this. Really what really matters is what she views. I mean, this is a reality of our world, one way or another. But the reality is what a female brings to that can bring a net positive. But if you're completely deficient, she's not fixing him. She
shouldn't have to.
I know.
She shouldn't have to. It's his trauma.
Right, but
fix your own shit.
But
why is that my job?
It's not. But your wound. That's the whole point. Is that my wound matching up with yours? We have a dysfunctional relationship.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's just it. I mean, there's so many people trying to jump into relationships when they haven't even worked on their wounds. So you're coming to the table with the wound. Are you really set up for success? No.
So maybe that should be a question within week 1 of conversation. Like,
what baggage do you have, and how are you working on that?
And I'll answer the question too.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We can all answer that
at
question.
The end of the day, you know, instead of taking months to figure out truly and weed through figuring it out, you know, come to the table as you are.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's figure out quickly. You know, are we a good match? Are we willing to work on things together?
Well, There's more things. That was good. That was good. You think that was good, Perna? Was that good? Okay. All right, we're going to wrap up for tonight. Thank you. Thank you for listening. You can find all of our information on the show notes, and you can leave us comments. We'd like to hear those comments. How are we, like, we've literally, like, overexposed ourselves for such a long period of time. Like, tell us what you think. Tell us something, I guess. I don't know, but we're glad you tuned in. We'd be curious what you think about all of this. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Let's keep the conversation going. You can reach out on Ben's website, www.benkeechshow.com, or on social media to chat. And please remember to subscribe so that you never miss an episode.